Iran, Iraq, rockets, Baghdad, airstrike, Soleimani, World War III? All of these words have been thrown around in events rapidly unfolding in the Middle East, leaving the casual observer with many questions as to what the fuss is all about. What situations is the US really up against? What military capabilities does Iran actually possess? And what threat does Iran truly pose today? Let's start with some context. The Islamic Republic of Iran is a Shiite theocratic state in Southwest Asia. Surrounded on all sides by regional opponents, be it Iraq, Pakistan, the Taliban, the Islamic State, Saudi Arabia, as well as the existential threat of the United States of America and the West, the authoritarian regime in Iran has been gripped by peril. Economically, Iran has felt pressure from widespread embargoes, both of arms and of oil, Iran's principal export. Internal unrest and insecure borders have only added fuel to the fire. The multifaceted threats to Iran's regime has led to the escalation of international tension from the Middle East today. Given the atmosphere of open hostility emanating from Iran, exactly what threat does the country pose militarily? Let's take a deeper look. Imagine Iran's military as a Cerberus, the mythical three-headed dog that guards the gates of hell. Each head of this Cerberus represents a major component of Iran's military. For the first head, we have the Artesh, Iran's conventional forces, including the ground force, navy, and air force of the Islamic Republic. These troops are today's remnants of the Shah's army. They are considered Tehran's professional military and primarily a defensive force. Second is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, created out of the fanatic Shiite militias following the Iranian Revolution. The IRGC represents the ideological branch of the military and was designated a foreign terrorist organization by the United States in 2019. Its primary task is to defend the Iranian Revolution from any foreign or domestic threat. It parallels the Artesh's ground force and navy, as well as maintaining unconventional forces like the IRGC Aerospace Force and the Al-Ghadir Missile Command. Finally, and perhaps the greatest offensive threat of the Iranian military complex today, is the Quds Force. The Quds Force is the external operator of the IRGC. The Quds Force is Tehran's primary tool for conducting clandestine, unconventional, out-of-state operations. Through the Quds Force, Tehran supplies, trains, and operates a network of proxies, militias, and terrorists, acting on its regional aims while affording Iran the safety to deny any direct involvement. The aggressive strikes we've seen in the Middle East today, from the drone strike on the Saudi Arabian oil refinery to the militia attacks on the US bases in Iraq, are more than likely attributable to this organization within the Iranian military, making it the biggest threat to regional stability and national security, short of all-out war with Iran. It's essential to understand the grand strategy that Iran has been pursuing. With this understanding, we can evaluate their capabilities and goals and begin to assess their next moves. Iran's conventional military strategy is defensive and primarily based on deterrence and the ability to retaliate against an attacker. This deterrence is based on its array of ballistic missiles, naval forces, and an established defensive network. Its capabilities to strike against allies in the region and disrupt the global economy would most certainly be put to use in the event of a direct attack. The extensive investment of Iran's defense makes all but the most determined conventional assault unlikely to succeed and extremely costly. In terms of offensive strategy, Iran has long held onto the Persian dream of becoming the greatest influence in the Middle East. In pursuit of this dream, Iran has maintained a cohort of regional alliances, the so-called Axis of Resistance. Such groups include the Shiite militias in Iraq, Shiite militias fighting for Syria, the Lebanese Shiite group Hezbollah, Houthi rebels in Yemen, and the Palestinian group of Islamic Jihad. Collectively, these allies grant Iran a network of external actors to execute their will across the region, under the guidance and support of the Quds Force. They maintain the strategy of forward defense, protecting the homeland with impressive conventional forces and deterrence and aggressive policy abroad enacted by unconventional allies. The strike on General Soleimani is a clear demonstration that the US is not hesitant to treat a major component of Iran's sovereign military, the IRGC, as it would any other terrorist organization. The effectiveness of this dramatic, provocative move is questionable, however. Not only have aides within his own administration been caught by surprise or disagree with the move, but also within hours, Supreme Leader Khamenei had appointed a new head of the Quds Force, and retaliated with a strike of their own, sending a barrage of missiles against the US bases in Iraq. The future will tell whether Iran curbs its activities in the region in an act of self-preservation, or is merely encouraged by the anti-American fervor to act more decisively through their unconventional network of proxy allies. The future of US involvement in the Middle East and the stability of the entire region may rest in this decision. Thanks for watching. We hope you learned a little something about Iran's military capacity and the potential next steps. See you around.